I want to talk about the creative process. I want to talk about the mistake I used to make that I'm still learning through right now, but I have thankfully become aware of. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make, okay? And this mistake is when we have a process for creation. Let's say, for example, you set yourself with a schedule for your newsletters, or you're posting 3 times a week on this one channel, like Instagram or LinkedIn, every, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Doesn't matter. But you have a schedule that you have to meet. And you now force yourself to get in a corner where more important or seemingly more important things in your business kind of take you away, and then it hits you like a couple of days before that you have to summon a few great pieces. And next thing you know, you're like, well, I mean, I can talk about this topic and this topic and this topic. I could say this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, wrap it up, record it or ship it, doesn't matter. And you have yourself a good or a decent piece of content, or maybe even a great piece of content. And you might think, well, that's it, I've done my job. But this is a mistake, because you're actually missing out on connecting with and sitting with your creative genius and discovering where your mind and your consciousness can take you if you allow yourself to experiment with thoughts without attachment to the outcome. And so this is a topic that I want to talk about today. How do we balance out being in touch with our creative selves, expressing ourselves fully, but also being rigid with this, or having some sort of like structure, and, holding ourselves accountable so that we don't end up creating just whenever we feel like it. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the muse to hit me, right? As if something is going to come from out there and give me the inspiration. Or, being on the other end of this spectrum, entering into a new sort of rat race with the content where we sell our souls for the algorithm and for what the masses want, or whatever, because we want to get certain results in a certain way, or we have to create fast. We have to squeeze creativity. Right now, I'm going to set up 30 minutes and I'm going to brainstorm all the ideas for the content outlines, and then I'm going to write within this time. And it just ends up being not as deep and not as that there's something missing there. Yeah, so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how do we balance that out. Okay, so if you're catching me for the first time, by the way, my name is Aliana. I am founder at Brands Are Alive, and I make a video like this every week. So if you're interested in learning more about how to bring your full self-expression to your brand, your business, and everything you create, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. All right, so let's get right into it. The problem with this process is that it sets a lot of pressure. You have a lot of pressure because you must come up with content by X date. And when you have that sort of expectation, you are too attached to the outcome. So it's not that it's not possible to create a great piece in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour. It's not that it's not possible for content creation to be fast and great at the same time. It's not that you have to struggle and spend months and years. I mean, unless you want to, right? But it's that the minute you tell yourself, this piece has to be good, this has to reach an end game, right? So when I am creating this piece, I know this has to make sense. It has to be on brand. It has to convey an idea that's going to be appealing to the consumers. I have to explain all of the points. It has to be a final piece, a finished project by X date. And it's as though you have a seed and you are, you plant it in the right environment, but you're like, okay, but you're going to have to grow in the next 2 hours, you're going to have to fully grow, instead of allowing yourself to explore the different areas of that idea and kind of expanding on it and asking yourself questions and then sleeping on it, literally coming back to it in the next day and maybe looking at it from a different perspective. And then a week later, you're walking and you have more ideas about this, and it takes you down a rabbit hole, and you uncover that this idea actually had so much more for you to talk about that was the essence of what you wanted to express. It's not this shallow, like surface level idea. It's so much deeper than that. And then you realize it connects to something else, and then you just follow this trail of curiosity, if you will, and it takes you places. In the process of doing that, you may create content about it. You don't have to put this piece on hold and say, I am never going to talk about this because I still feel like there's more to know about this. But the point is, you have to allow the piece to feel complete enough that you feel good about it before you post it, and not post it from a place of desperation of like, I have to post, I don't have anything to post, this will do. Because that's not great energy, for your business and for you, and it leaves you feeling like you need somebody else to reassure you that the piece was good. You need people to click, and you need people to like, and you need people to engage. And otherwise, you're like, well, that wasn't, you're just questioning it instead of just enjoying the process. And so am I telling you to drop your schedule? No, I'm not telling you to drop your content schedule or anything. All I'm saying is not only allow yourself, but carve out the time to create for no purpose other than following curiosity. Carve out time to create, not necessarily to create content that might become publishable content in the future or create a product that will eventually be sold. I'm saying to create and follow random curiosities, and that could be ideas about any of your interests, but especially if it's something that interests you in your business or in your brand, because now you also have that pressure of creating by a certain deadline while also uncovering your creative side. And to do both things at the same time, keep the schedule. It's a good thing to be accountable to a deadline, especially when you have a lot of resistance. It's a good thing to have that in your life, to say, okay, I'm going to post once a week. Okay, I'm going to hold myself to something reasonable. But I am not going to wait until the deadline and then start creating and expect that piece to be the piece that works for this week or for this batch to fulfill the need. Instead, I'm going to protect time and space every day or every week or however long you need for the creative process, for the practice of creating. And again, creating for no particular purpose. You're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to create something. You are simply following the trail of curiosity. You're curious about an idea and you look it up. You're curious about an idea and you ask yourself some questions to expand on that idea. You go and look up or research or watch a video from a good teacher about this topic, and then you think about your own experience in your own life, or try to apply that and wait for like a couple months and see how that goes. You know what I mean? So if you're doing this on a consistent basis where you are carving out the time and space for your purposeless creation other than for the purpose of joy itself, you will see that you are going to have more great content to share, because great stuff is going to inevitably come out of that eventually, and B, you are going to be able to access, like I said, much deeper levels of creativity that normally wouldn't be super accessible when you are having that sort of pressure. So in conclusion, I want you to understand that there's no need to put pressure. It's true that creativity requires structure. Creativity without structure, without some limitation, there's no creativity. If you were able to do anything, have anything, create anything, there's no limit, there's no creation. So you need structure, you need limitation, but you don't need scarcity, right? You need that wiggle room, that openness, that space and time, right? To explore and follow the joy and follow the curiosity. And then, along with that, you're still holding yourself accountable to a deadline. So it's a balance, all right? So that was it for today. My name is Aliana. I'm founder at Brands Are Alive, where we help conscious creators find and, really embody your fullest self-expression in your brand, your business, and everything you create. And we say a business that makes you feel alive, meaning a business of passion, purpose, and of course, financial profitability. So one great thing I want to leave you with, actually, there are a couple of videos I'm going to put in the description. One of them is called Signs That You Are a Business Artist, and the other one is about channeling, and both of them talk about a little bit more about creativity and the creative process in the context of branding and business. So if you're interested in this topic, you can go watch those videos. And also, if you are interested in a more like one-on-one help, I'm going to leave a link in the description to book a call with me, and we can talk about that. At Brands Are Alive, we use lots of modalities, including sacred plant medicines, of course, within a legal and safe setting. to help you uncover more of who you really are and bring it to everything you create. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.